In order to see that the East India Company functions in a smooth way, the British government brought in the Regulating Act. That was of 1773. In a span of 11 years, they made a few changes in that, and one more act came in. That is called as Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act. See, how the government functions is always, it is an evolutionary track. Nothing is constant, nothing is fixed. You learn from experimentation. You learn from failures. You succeed at a few things, you fail in a few other areas. So a new act came in now, trying to rectify some of the inconsistencies in the Regulating Act. So it is Pitt's India Act. When you go through these for the first time, you may find it very difficult. What is it? All confusion. You go through a few times and just try to figure out what are the key points. That's why we have given you even the points on the screen as 1, 2, 3. What are the key points? You remember the key points. You should be able to express on your own. Pitt's India Act of 1784 rectified the inconsistencies in the previous act. What was the previous act? The Regulating Act of 1773, and also restricted the powers of the East India Company. You know, East India Company used to malfunction, misbehave, go on corrupt lines. So somebody has to hold the reins, hold the control, bring it onto a steady path, make them behave. So it tried to restrict the very powers of the East India Company. Number 2, the board of directors of the company was replaced by board of controllers, who had greater power than the board of directors. There were 6 commissions. 6 commissioners were appointed to this board of controllers. So these commissioners, they control the acts and functioning of the East India Company. The board of controllers had powers to direct and control the issues relating to land taxes. Not only land taxes, we had discussed about land taxes in the previous class, military and civil areas too. Because if the governance has to go on a smooth path, you have to attend to all these aspects. The act curtailed the political rights of Indians. Automatically, when the demands get put, they take the form of political rights. You demand, you ask. We are the native people. What rights do we have? How far are we free to take decisions on our own? How can we plan out our life? We can't be your slaves. The act curtailed the political rights of Indians. They used to come to know Indians are slowly, they are catching the new spirit. They used to curtail the political rights of Indians. Indians, I tell you, were being regarded as slaves. They wanted Indians to be slaves. The mindset has not changed. It declared the areas under the possession of the East India Company an integral part of the British Empire. See how crooked, how cunning the British are. Pitt's India Act, though we felt that it was trying to set right the East India Company, on the other hand, it declared the areas that were under the possession of the East India Company an integral part of the British Empire. You are not free. You are not independent. You are absolutely under our control. They figured it out and they spelt it out in the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Now after the Regulating Act and the Pitt's India Act of 1784, one of 1773, the other of 1784, we have the Charter Acts. Charter Acts that come one after the other. And you see an evolution. Don't feel it's all dry. You see an evolution. How does an empire, British Empire, get set? The pathway. How do they try to oppose the acts of Indians wherein they were trying to impress the British as far as their political rights were concerned? So what was the aim of these Charter Acts? One thing is renewal of the license of the East India Company. East India Company was not given absolute rights over India. No, they said every 20 years you have to renew. If you have given somebody a house on rent, your house on rent, or the rooms upstairs your house as on rent, you get papers signed by them wherein you say it is for 11 months, it is for 3 years, it's for 5 years. After 5 years, we may not be able to renew the contract. You may have to vacate. Say it's like that. You are asserting your right to there. To enact new rules, new regulations, wherein the British pathway gets cleared. British will be able to do well, to earn lot of wealth for their nation. Now the first Charter Act is of 1813. 1813. The Act licensed the East India Company to stay for another 20 years. It's renewal. You can be our re-agent in India and continue your trade and commerce for another 20 years. You are permitted. The Act allowed any interested person to carry out trade in India. See here. So far, East India Company had the monopoly. They were the only company to conduct trade in India. Now, to cut down the feathers of the East India Company, to cut them to size, to set an element of fear in them that they are not the people to decide, final decision they will not be able to take up. What did they do? The Act, the Charter Act of 1813, it allowed any interested person to carry out trade in India. So this is what we call as free trade era. Free trade era. Anyone, they can apply to the British government, take permission, and the controls will be there. You have to pay the tax every year. They give you the permission to open 1, 2 or 3 trading centers in India. You can continue. Even private people can start. A new era of licenses and authorization started. Era of licenses. A free trade era. Give and take. You want to trade? Come on. Get into an agreement. Pay the tax what you have to, and you are permitted to continue. The board of directors was vested with the power to appoint the Governor General and the Commander-in-Chief. So the board of directors would decide. They too had a hand. They were vested with that power to decide who should be their Governor General. But ultimately, it has to be approved by the British government and in selecting the Commander-in-Chief too. Another move, it is with the missionary zeal they started, permitting the churches in Britain to enter into India officially. They had started coming already, But now official permission would be given to them to function in India. So what is that? Proselytization. Proselytization. Converting Indians into Christianity. Spreading Christianity here. From that viewpoint, the churches of Britain were given the permission to enter India officially and carry on with their business here, their work functioning here. What is the aim? To convert Indians into Christianity, Hindus into Christianity. Christian missionaries started arriving in India. Expansion of Christianity and English education. If the Christians have to come here, the churches have to come here, English has to be popularized. Indians should learn English. That's the communication. That's the bridge, how we communicate with them. So, this is behind the screen. This particular permission given to the churches of Britain were an indication that they wanted to convert a section of India into the Christian popular viewpoint. Now we come to the next Charter Act. Charter Acts you find once in 20 years. 1813. Next Charter Act, 1833. Easy to remember. Oh, how can we remember all these years? See, there's a system. You find a discipline there. 1833. After 1813, you come to 1833. Now, Charter Act of 1833, we call it. The Act licensed East India Company to stay for another 20 years. This is a normal course. Every time they have to renew the license. Second, Governor General of Bengal. He was declared as Governor General of India. So far he had been vested with powers. Now in the 1833 Act, it was declared, you are the Governor General. You are vested with powers to direct, control and supervise all trades in India. Entire British functioning in India under the East India Company came under the hold of the Governor General of Bengal. He was vested with powers. He was given all the powers. He was empowered, we say. The Governor General of India was vested with the final rights to decide on matters of war, peace and diplomacy with the princely states of India. Innumerable princely states were there in India. You should carry on with your diplomacy with them. You should be able to function at peace times, at war times. Sometimes war, sometimes peace. But ultimately the viewpoint is to build up a strong British Empire in the Indian soil. Let it be very clear. The aim, the objective is very, very clear. They were not here to do any favor to Indians. They wanted a British Empire to be built in India. They regarded India as Sone ki chidiya, the golden bird. Friends, you remember, in the entire world we had a prominent place then. Why did we have so many invaders entering in India time and again? Over about 2000 years, and ultimately it's the British now. Because they all regarded India to be a fertile land. They regarded India as a golden bird. So, the Governor General of India was vested with absolute powers to see that the British do well in India and achieve their aims. The Governor General was mandated to put his difference of opinion in writing with the Executive Committee members. A supreme position he had. It barred any discrimination based on religion, birth and skin color. Some of these things remain only nominal, namesake, but at least they pretended, no, we don't believe in religions. For us, all religions are the same, no discrimination based on religion, birth or skin color. Appointment of a law professional as member to the executive committee, because lot of legal aspects were getting covered. So a legal professional they wanted to be appointed as a member to the executive committee. So it all makes it clear that things are turning more and more complex. All British companies were allowed to have trade in India. I said, not just the East India Company, any company, British company which is interested in starting trade in India can go ahead with that. Only thing, they have to get license from the British government.